How you doing, folks? My name is Dan Powers from Champion Solutions Group, and I've been doing enterprise monitoring for over 25, 30 years, and it's specifically complex application monitoring, hence ITCAM. I've done this for a long time using multiple agents, multiple different tool sets from well-known vendors, and some Slackware stuff as well. What I wanted to show you, if you're still doing that today, there's a much better way to do it. And hence, that's what we're going to walk in and look at today. So if you look at any of your typical data center, and let's say that you're trying to monitor an online store, if you will. So of course you're going to have some type of web server reporting or serving up that store. And in a production environment, you're actually going to have more than web server. You're going to have multiple of them. You're probably going to have multiple storefronts and different applications. Behind there is going to be your database servers, which could be different type of databases supporting that web application. You're always going to have some type of middleware, some type of security control server, well, that's LDAP or something else. And to monitor this, we have to get operating system agents on all of these devices. This is a little bit difficult because you need an operating system agent for every different type of operating system. Windows, Linux, AIX, Solaris, whatever it happens to be. They have to match up so we can get the base data so that we can start our monitoring. After the OS agent, of course, the next level we have to do is application agents. This gets very difficult as well because we can't just put a database agent in. We have to put a very specific database agent, DB2 running on AIX, or DB2 running on Z-Linux, or MS SQL agent running on Windows, and the list goes on. The same happens in web applications. We have to make sure the agent matches your operating system and matches the type of agent you're using, whether that's Apache, IIS, WebSphere, and so forth. So it's not just that we can put a web agent or an HTTP agent in place. There's a lot of overhead with enterprise monitoring applications, and all of these also put an impact on the server you're monitoring in the first place. Beyond that, we'll have MQ agents, LDAP agents, and so forth. And then we usually put out some robotic transmitting agents that test our online store application from different areas of the network to test performance and to make sure it's working properly. This becomes a very big management issue. What I'd like to do is show you a better way to deal with this because we haven't even looked at the network layer in this whole environment yet. All we're dealing with is agents on top of servers. And if you haven't gotten it yet, this is becoming a very complex environment to manage. And I'm going to show you a detailed view of what this might look like. A lot of you that have been doing this will find the next picture something familiar in your environment. This is what a typical ITCAM complex monitoring solution looks like, where we have operating systems deployed on every server in the environment. Then we have our application agents, as we discussed, MQ. We have particular database type agents. We'll have multiple of those. We'll have multiple web agents out there. We'll then be able to put into our web servers, which makes a big impact on them, to actually pull out metrics from the running web server. All of this overhead just to get a glimpse into what the application is doing so a user can monitor it. It's not real time. It's very time consuming, and I spent years managing this system. But what if I could show you a better day? And that better way of doing this is called wire data. Every server on your network, every wired application, every IoT device sits on top of your network, and it transmits data back and forth in a conversation. This is what wire data is. It's tapping the actual network, your definite source of truth, with a single extra hop appliance called a discovery appliance. It can listen to your network traffic at 100 megabits per second, even if it's encrypted, with sustained 100 megabits per second, and see every conversation on your wire. Knowing what's happening in real time, being able to find assets and machines on your wire. For example, it doesn't matter what type of database you're calling or talking, because the SQL statements are going to be the same. Extra hop will understand this. The same holds true with web type traffic. It doesn't matter what it is, because extra hop will reassemble the layer 2 all the way to the layer 7 TCP IP stack in real time. It gets true machine data, it sees it as it happens, and it's going to be able to find every device on your network and understand its role in your network based on how it talks. There's zero agents running on any of this, and it can't impact your environment. Extra Hop does this because it understands over 50 plus protocols that while it reads these protocols, it puts over 5,000 analytics on these conversations at that line speed in real time. This is the power of wire data. So I'm actually going to fade out and let you see how ExtraHop explains it themselves. You can watch this video by Googling ExtraHop and wire data.
The modern data center is hyper-dynamic, with massive growth and complexity, and hundreds of interdependent systems that interact in haphazard ways. So, when there's a problem, how do you identify the cause? The answer is on the wire, in all the data already in motion in your infrastructure. Other tools record data for experts to analyze after the fact. But with the modern data center, you need to know what's happening in real time and in a way that's scalable. The ExtraHop platform requires no agents and analyzes traffic continuously, giving you real-time, comprehensive insight into all communications between all your systems. It takes raw, unstructured packets and transforms them into structured wire data, correlated across tiers so you can see what's really happening and act on the insights quickly. Wire data gives you the ultimate source of truth in your enterprise. The ExtraHop platform can show you when latency is the fault of the infrastructure and when applications are behaving badly. It can detect threats and give you the context to answer what, where, when, and who for any situation. It can show you how application and infrastructure performance impact user experience. It can also give you detailed views of every transaction between applications, databases, storage, and the network, so you know which tiers are using resources efficiently and which need help. To make sense of today's modern data center, you need an objective, outside-looking-in view, continuously in real time with context. That's wire data. That's the ExtraHop platform.
ExtraHop has an incredible security feature, but we're interested in performance monitoring. So what I want to show you here is clicking Assets. There's absolutely no agents running in this environment whatsoever, but because of the network traffic, we can find all web servers, all Citrix servers, all DNS, DHCP, DNS, and so forth for the clients and the servers, easily finding these machines on the network with no agents whatsoever deployed. If we go into device groups, we can start creating our own groups. This is where you could take static or dynamic group and create something like AD clients, which will give you a whole picture view of this complex application that you would be monitoring in the old way with multiple agents stitched together. This ExtraHop sees everything actually on the network, which is pretty amazing. And since it categorizes these things, if I just come into databases, I can see all my database servers on the wire at the moment, how they're performing, what type of errors there are. A simple click just to find out what the type of errors that we're seeing. I can see right here the actual cause of this error and how many errors there are for this related issue. And even if I wanted to go in and see the actual transactions, I could drill into here from ExtraHop and see the actual transactions on the wire. This is an amazing thing that you can't get out of agents that are existing on your boxes. This is all the data you can possibly see in real time across your entire enterprise. If I go into my web servers, I can see all my web traffic across the board. I can see this from an overview standpoint of my web servers, of how they're working, where there's some issues, what type of other traffic they're doing it by server activity, everything they're doing from a server side, and everything they're doing from a client side. Think about how many agents in an IT CAM world or an application monitoring where you'd have to deploy to get some of this data down to these machines. It's absolutely amazing what you can get when you look at the live wire data. So if this looks interesting to you and you'd like to see what ExtraHop could do for your environment, please let us know at Champion. We'd love to show you this thing. It's an amazing amount of activity inside of ExtraHop. And of course, it would take me a whole video series just to show you a lot of the features inside of ExtraHop and what we're doing. We can drill into any portion of the screen. We got 30 days look back out of the box of all activity right down to the transactions. And if I even look at what servers, I can drill out on the client side, who's the client requested the most activity to this server given this current time frame. And I can see up here what some of these are. And of course, we have our threat feeds. For example, here, we know we're getting suspicious endpoint activity. So not only do you have a security intelligence tool here for your SOC, but Extra Hop can actually tell you when your web servers, database servers, application servers, or your Citrix farm is running slow. It's an amazing tool. Please let us know if you'd like to have a review of this. So again, my name's Dan Powers, and if you would like to see how the Extra Hop system can take your unstructured wired data and turn it into a stream process where it can filter every single protocol on your wire, identify your servers, clients, and give you the network performance and complex monitoring that you always wanted, let us know here at Champion Solutions Group. We would love to show you this product on your network with your applications to prove the worth of Extra Hop.